In another world like Earth, Aphra was a fairy god. She appointed Elora as the fairy of good and Nadia as the fairy of evil. There arose a conflict between them to see who was the greatest among them. So, Aphra decided to teach them a lesson by announcing a match between them. Nadia wants to murder Jane, the princess of Eldoria, aiming to make Tyrus the king of Eldoria. Elora must try to save the princess and restore her as queen. In this competition, the winner would be determined as the greatest among you. Both enter the match with the help of their fellow fairies. Twice, Elora saved the princess from plots to kill her. Elora looked into a magic mirror to find out who Tyrus's enemy was and discovered that Tyrus's wife, Louise, was the one. She tried to find out the reason. Louise was once the girlfriend of Tyrus's friend Nicole. Tyrus, enchanted by Louis' beauty. He asked his brother Vagan, the king of Eldoria, to go to Louis' house and ask her. The king and queen visited Louis' house to ask for a girl, but were surprised by Louis' answer. The queen realized that Tyrus had sent them with a secret plan, and she began to wonder what Tyrus' plan could be. A terrible riot was raging at the borders of Eldoria. This unrest had been ongoing for several days. In the forest along the country's border, numerous tribal communities lived. The soldiers responsible for guarding the border frequently threatened and harmed the tribal people, including acts of violence against women. As a result, the tribal communities now view the Eldorian soldiers as their enemies. Then one day that horror happened. The tribal leader's daughter went to the waterfall to fetch water. While the small army's commander was present, he was captivated by her beauty that he started moving towards her with evil intention. She saw the Eldorian soldier approaching her, so the tribe woman quickly ran into the forest. He chased her into the forest. Unfortunately, the Eldorian commander hit her in a bush, and a tragic incident occurred and she died miserably. Seeing that, the commander ran away from there. Inoki, the tribal leader, became worried when his daughter didn't come back after fetching water for a long time. He gathered his men and started searching for her. In shock, Inoki cried out when he found his daughter's lifeless body in a bush. One of Inoki's companions then noticed a sword nearby with the symbol of the country of Eldoria engraved on its handle. He picked up the sword and showed it to Inoki. Seeing the knife in his hand, Inoki became furious when he realized that one of the Eldoria warriors had killed his daughter. How long can we be patient like this? Alongside my daughter, they have harmed and killed 20 women. We can't let them live any longer. And destroy them as long as there is life in our body, he shouted in a furious voice. As if echoing his sentiment, all the tribesmen with him began chanting against Eldoria. The tribal people sent messages to many tribal people living in the neighboring forest, asking for support. They also gathered with powerful weapons and, united, marched towards the Eldorian soldiers' camp. The Eldorian soldiers were alarmed when they suddenly saw a group of tribesmen coming towards them with weapons in hand. Realizing that they were coming to attack them, they prepared to counterattack. The two sides clashed fiercely. As the tribesmen were strong and physically powerful, it was difficult for the Eldorian soldiers to fight against them. Unlike the Eldorian soldiers, the tribal people lacked advanced weapons, so they attacked them with whatever they got. In this, a group of tribesmen hiding in the trees locked arrows in their bows and killed the Eldorian warriors with perfect aim. The battle ended quickly as the tribesmen outnumbered the Eldorian soldiers. Only a few Eldoria warriors survived, all the other Eldorian soldiers were killed. Amid the joy of claiming victory, the shouts of the tribal people echoed through the forest. In the sky above, a group of carrion vultures gathered, feasting on the corpses of the fallen Eldorian soldiers, content with their meal. A warrior who survived fled on horseback toward Eldoria fortress. The knight who entered the castle went straight to Tyrus's house. Tyrus, realizing the knight was the deputy commander of the soldiers guarding the border, said, "I didn't order you to come here now." The sub-commander bowed and apologized, trembling in fear that he had made a mistake. "What's wrong?" asked Tyrus. "There's something troubling to say," replied the sub-commander nervously. "Our border guard force was attacked and destroyed by a group of tribals." Tyrus, now furious, turned to him and demanded, "Destroyed? Are all our soldiers dead?" he asked angrily. "Yes, everyone is dead," said the sub-commander, his arms and legs fluttering. "I'm the only one left. After all the soldiers who were under your leadership died, why are you the only one alive? I swear you will die too." Without hesitation, Tyrus, now furious, cut off the head of the vice commander. The headless deputy commander's body fell to the ground.